Good morning, pirates. KW-19, full of the joys of spring. A grumpy pirate, sunbeams, and pigs in space. One of these days, I am going to get on with the primary function of the barracks, that thing that we're working towards now and have been for the last 4 years of this voluntary incarceration. To be useful. This has been a developing concept, and now that I think I finally have a grip on what it is, the collapse laboratory, I'm desperately keen to be getting on with it. But first, I have to make the place livable. I always figured that the best way to do this was the most essential and time-consuming stuff first, creating living soil out of dead stones, making the potager and the vineyard, and somehow, along the way, rescuing pigs. On the fabric of the buildings, there are 6 cute and comfortable, though basic bedrooms, some cooking facilities, and we've made great strides with the whole provision of the water thing. Disappointingly, this is still not done. When the nice drain unblocking men came and unblocked the drains, they said something along the lines of, "The drains are blocked because of a dumbass designed flaw which has gotten worse over time. They will block again." Long story short, I now need to manually unblock the drains every week. I somehow need to conjure up some money for a power washer to rinse them out. Still every week, just not by gloved hand. But ultimately, there is an underground rebuild required. On top of this, the ride-on lawnmower is dead again, and the cultivator tiller is in the repair shop. The repair shop man took 10 weeks to fix something last time I took him a thing, which now I think about it was the ride-on lawnmower, and the current breakage might well be due to him having replaced the mower blade drive belt with one of the wrong size. The bastard. I grew winter cover crops everywhere I could last year, in the knowledge that I could rotivate them into the ground. Now I have to dig it all by hand. This just ended up making a lot of extra work for myself. It's great for the soil to have a cover crop, of course, but you do have to be able to get rid of it again, either by digging it in or clearing it for the compost heap, or feeding it to pigs. In other words, the long, slow, steady process of things constantly getting better and easier, the uphill drive to an easy life, the downhill carting to a life of luxury, has been interrupted. It is starting to feel like this is the first year that was not easier than the previous year. I have some volunteers here at the moment. They were introduced in the Friday Barracks and Pictures newsletter, so we are just about keeping on top of the mowing, but without the tiller, the vineyard is simply not getting planted this year. And so, jobs for the week. Finish the potatoes. I managed to do half of them last week, and I'm actually pleased enough with that. They are going in late, but I have to remind myself it's still only the middle of May. We will still get potatoes. Sow at least half the roots. Erect the bean poles. Because I can't clear the ground quickly enough, I've sown a couple of 100 beans in modules. If we can get a load in the ground soon as well, then we're good for beans. Plan the potager greenhouse in CAD. This is the domain of volunteer Teo. He can do that sort of magic. Continue with sowing the pig field. Mowing, unblocking drains, hauling drinking water, feeding pigs, raiding bins. And finally, recruit a cast for the TV show of the barracks. Do you want to be on the telly box? Our production company is all signed up and committed to doing a 30-minute programme on Arte about the planning and execution of the collapse laboratory. But we need a cast. The laboratory needs to go ahead this year. I can't do it all by myself. And if you'd like to help out with the running of it and be part of this exciting TV production, which would mean being at the barracks for 2 or 3 shooting days over the summer, please don't dilly-dally and get in touch straight away. I'm sorry, I don't even know what this newsletter is about this week. I usually have a theme or a topic in mind, but it seems like a messed up and depressing catalogue of horrors this time around, which actually does describe my mind quite well, I guess. What I promised you with this digital epistle was a look behind the scenes of the barracks. Well, sometimes it's chaos. That's what you get this week. I'm sorry. The solution? Get the fuck on with it, you whinging pirate. See you next week, and with much priority love, your Pirate Ben. XO. XO.